I'll take a picture.
Okay.
Oh, it's Jenna. Hey.
Hello, welcome everyone. Got quite a few
All
people
right.
coming
When I call
in.
you back, I'm going to call you back on my office line.
All right, that'll be good.
That's going to be the 484-5738. Okay.
Welcome, 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 welcome. If anyone has access to their camera, love to see cameras turned on. If you don't, understand. If you do, we'd like to see smiling faces. If you're not going to smile, turn your camera off. Just kidding.
That's
Welcome.
funny.
We'll let people come in for few more seconds here. When it stops clicking, we'll kind of continue. Hello, Mike Dixon.
Hey, everybody.
How are you, sir?
Oh, good. Hope you are.
I am, thank you. Long time no see.
Don't be such a stranger.
I know. I come see you every bit as often as you come see me.
Well, see, I don't know where to go.
Yeah. We were actually in Spartanburg a month or so ago, but I think it might have been a Saturday. I assume you're not working on Saturdays.
Well, I eat on Saturdays too.
Oh, we could have taken you to lunch. We did go by your old agency, your dad's old agency, and I showed Lisa where that used to be. In On one hand, that seems like a lifetime ago for me, and on the other hand, it seems like it was 2 years ago. You know.
I know.
So, okay. Well, we'll sort of get started here. We're a minute or two after, and again, anyone that can turn their camera on would love that. If not, we understand. Um, and if you probably be helpful for everyone to mute yourself because there's quite a few people here. It looks like mute yourself, and then if there's a point we need to talk, of course you can come off of mute, um, and we'll get started with this. So, can everybody see my screen? I see some heads shaking. I see Kate's head shaking. By the way, I love Kate's shirt today. Show us your shirt, Kate. So, Kate is not a Carolina fan, even though that's where I graduated from, but she's wearing the shirt today. I don't know if she did that just for me or not. So thank you for being here. I hope this is going to be fun. I think this is give or take 30 minutes today. I hope it's not only fun for you, but I hope that you get benefit out of the time that you're here today. Um, if you would, take a second in the Zoom chat. Those of you who don't know where the Zoom chat is, take a second and figure that out if you would. Put in there where you're calling from, please. Put what state you're in or what city and state that you're in. Love to kind of see that. So we've got Utah and North Carolina, Pennsylvania, California, New Orleans, Wilmington, North Carolina, Ohio, Spartanburg, Colorado. Perfect. So yeah, keep putting that in there if you would. I'd like to keep track of where you folks are calling from. That's a lot of fun to see the different places that people are joining in from. Um, I want to start off before today's we do a webinar for the last almost a year now, the fourth Wednesday of each month. So that's today. This one's different because normally we're teaching or showing different things. Today it's just the book launch. It's the book that I've been working on hard for the last year, a little longer than that overall, but really hard for the last year. And I got to tell you one thing very transparently. Today is a wonderful day for me because it's like, whew, I'm kind of glad this is done. I'm glad it's done, but I'm glad it's done. When you do something that's kind of hard, and this kind of stuff's hard for me, I'm sure it'd be easier for some other people. But when it's done, for me, when it's hard like this, there's just such a relief, like when you finish that last semester final exam in college and you've got the summer off, just such a relief. Um, so I'm excited about this time because this is my official wind down moment. Over the next 30 minutes that we're going to spend together is my wind down time. I've prepared for a year writing the book and then in the last little while getting it published and then the last little while getting this kind of today put together. So part of what we're trying to do today is introduce the book, give some people some good value and some good deals today. And we're also trying to hit ranking status on Amazon, and we'll talk a little bit more about that over the next few minutes. I want to start by thanking, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to thank everybody by name. I will thank my wife, Lisa, by name, because she's put up with this process many, many hours. I can even think about over the last year, we'd be on vacation, we'd be somewhere, and I'm sitting there on my iPad working on this thing. And so I appreciate her and her, taking time to review things and edit things, give me feedback, and just let me do one more crazy thing in life and consume myself in one more crazy thing. And I will mention one other person is Misty. Misty's on the call, and Misty's my executive assistant, and I feel guilty with her name not being on the book, quite honestly. She, more so than Lisa, has put many hours, Lisa's agreeing with that, has put many hours into this. So Lisa probably sympathizes with Misty because Lisa knows what it's like to put up with me at home, and she knows exactly what Misty has to deal with every single day working with me. I work with Misty more than any other one person at Genesis. So thank you, Misty, for all you've done in making this possible. It really, really could not have been done without you. And I mentioned several people in the acknowledgments, so any of you that get a copy of the book, you can look in the acknowledgments, and I have taken the time to mention several people by name. What we're going to do today, this format is going to be me talking to you very casually and transparently like this and informally. And we're going to go through I'm going to show you the outline of the book. I know when I go to the bookstore, I go to Barnes & Noble, and I'm walking around, I pick up a book that I think I might like. One of the first things I do is I might look on the back to see what a couple people have written, but I will for sure glance at the table of contents because I kind of want to know what are the chapters in this book, and do those chapters look like the kind of thing that I might want to buy this book and actually read it. So I want to do that today. It won't take long, but I'm going to go through and show you how the book's laid out, the structure of it, and the chapters. So that way you're able to look and see what the stuff is we're talking about. And I don't have this on the slide, but I want to mention this before I forget it. We've been so blessed at Genesis for 28 years to have grown the business every year for 28 years. And we've never had a year that was decline. And that's not a result of genius or anything else, maybe a little hard work, but a whole lot of luck, a lot of blessings. And one of the ways that I approached this book was I wanted to share with every one of you the things that we do, because we've done a lot of things, as you can imagine, over the years that didn't work, and we still do, and things that did work. So my goal here in writing this book, especially about marketing for insurance agencies, was to translate what we're doing that's working for us, and we're just wanting you to come alongside and do this with us. And I was telling somebody the other day, I was actually a guest on a podcast. She was asking some questions that led into this, but I remember when I started this business from scratch, from $0 to getting to $1 million a year in revenue, took a long time. Don't remember how long now, but it took a long time. But to get to the second million was much faster. And the third million was a whole lot faster than that, and the fourth million. So my point is, all of those strategies are here. Everything that we've done that works to help grow any business is what we've done here. So we're going to go through the review of the book. I do want to have fun, friendly, happy, easy. That's our little motto, unofficial motto here. And we're going to give some things away, and we're going to have some special promotions today. So I want to mention why I wrote this book. By the way, I keep seeing the people joining on this, and got whatever it is, 50 people or something. And to many of you, I see some of your names. I want to talk to you because I haven't talked to some of you in such a long time. And I see John on the call, who helped me release my first book in 2018. That went to Amazon, #1 bestseller. Anyway, and I haven't talked to John in years, but I apologize I can't speak to more of you because I'd love to. Let me mute somebody there. So why I wrote this book? There's several reasons. By the way, one of the reasons that I was thinking about this morning that's not on this bullet point is something I have to be transparent and tell you. One of the reasons a business owner writes a book is for marketing reasons. It's good for a business to have published a book, make them an authority in the space. I'm trying to figure out where I'm hearing sounds. Makes them authority in the space, and it helps with sales and marketing and growth. But there is that reason, but I just realized this morning that wasn't on here, but I would be less than truthful about it and say that that's one of the reasons that most businesses publish a book. You know, I've been an insurance agent for more than 30 years, 35 or 6 or 7 years, quite a while, almost all my life, of course. And, you know, a lot of experiences, good and bad along the ways, and those experiences are shared in here, and I wanted to share those. Lisa helped me. She heard me talking to Misty a couple days ago on a Zoom call like this, and Lisa sits behind me right over here every day, and I heard her. Sometimes she'll listen to me as I'm meeting, and I listen to her as she's doing meetings. So she kind of blurted out while I was in the meeting with Misty and said, "Add this one in," and she kind of described it to me, and we did, and she said, "You're a learner." So I think one of the reasons, Eddie, you wrote this book is because you like to learn, you like to teach. And my philosophy and what works for me, and everybody's different, is if I want to know something really well, like how to do marketing or how to do marketing for an insurance agency or how to do marketing for a software company, the best way and most interesting way for me to learn it is to be able to teach it. So if you write a book on something, that requires so much research that you come away at the end of that, maybe you don't have a Amazon bestseller book, but you come away a ton smarter than you went into the project. So I did the same thing when Lisa started telling me that the other day. I did the same thing in 2012. Cindy on the call remembers that. I got my personal trainer certification in fitness not because I wanted to be a personal trainer. I have done it a couple times, kind of informally, but I just wanted to know more about health and fitness. And I did the same thing. I'm a pilot, but I wanted to be a really safe, good pilot, so I became a flight instructor, because when you become a flight instructor and are able to teach flight training, you're a much better pilot. So not that I don't do any flight instruction, I just wanted to have that level of expertise. So Lisa threw that in and thought that was probably dead on. Another reason I think I did this was I've watched agencies for so many years struggle with marketing overwhelm. I'll see an agency, they might be doing $100,000 a year in top-line revenue or $4 million a year in top-line revenue and everywhere in between. And way too often, they don't have an organized, structured marketing program. They have a process most often about how they're quoting and how they're servicing accounts, but they don't have this process in place for how they're doing their marketing. And part of that, I believe, is it's hard to do it all, the marketing on your own, and you're running your insurance agency on your own too. I get that that's hard, and I've been there for many years before I started Genesis. But I wanted to kind of deal with that in this book, and I think I did. I wanted to create a step-by-step roadmap. If you're like me, I just get frustrated with a little idea over here, a little idea over here, and they're just floating around. I may not execute them. I don't execute them in the right order. I don't stick with them if I do execute them. So I wanted to create this book that would lay things out so you know where to start today, what you're going to do next week, what you're going to do next month, and how you manage this for many years. I wanted to make it less scary, less confusing. And in 2018, I mentioned a minute ago, and John, I'm so excited, is on this call. I wrote a book called The Perfect Insurance Agency in 2018. And I hadn't thought about this part in years either. But John actually was the one who come up with this concept back then. He said, "Eddie, I think you should write this book." And the book, by the way, we had decided was going to be everything about how to run an insurance agency. It's marketing, sales, operations, hiring, leadership, finance. It's everything about running an insurance agency. And he said, I think you should write this book about your journey when you started an agency 27 years before, and how you bought and sold agencies, how you grew and scaled to 4 locations, and a bunch of team members. And he said, here's the real kicker, Eddie. I think you should, I don't know if he remembers all this. He said, I think you should write this book like you're talking to your daughter, Jenna. And Jenna's also on the call. She's been a Jenesis team member, which Jenesis was named after her 28 years ago. But she wasn't even in the business then, or maybe had just started out. I guess she had just started. Maybe had come to work for the company about that time. And so he said, write the book like you're teaching your daughter how to be a successful insurance agent. And I don't know about you, but I've read several books over the years that was kind of like a story, and I enjoyed those more than I did just a clinical book. With that being said, this is a little bit more of a clinical book, except every chapter has several stories, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. So this book, my point is, there was one chapter in that first book that was an Amazon bestseller in 2018. There was one chapter on marketing in that book. So this is a deep dive. This is an entire book. It's actually more pages than the first one, and it's just on marketing. So those are the whys. A few things that we're going to do in the time we have together today is make this book available to you. Now this is a give and take comment I'm getting ready to make. I will let you have this book today. It's priced on Amazon for 99 cents today only. Tomorrow it goes to $9.99, I think, and the paperback today is $19.99. But this is available on Amazon. It's available right now. Misty is going to post in notes. There she just did. So she just posted in notes in the meeting chat a link that you can go to Amazon and you can buy the Kindle version for 99 cents. Now you can buy the regular paperback for $19.99. That's fine too. But the reason we wanted to make it 99 cents on the Kindle version, we couldn't really do it on the book, is the more sales that we make today, it helps our ranking on Amazon. And it's just so much fun to be able to say you're on the Amazon bestseller list. And we checked a few minutes ago, and we've already hit #1 book on Amazon for auto insurance. That's great. We hope to climb in some of the other categories too, and not just auto insurance. But it is fun. We've already got an image of us being #1 Amazon bestseller, this book. But that link's there. If you would, go out, please, and invest $1 and get the Kindle version. If you do not use Kindle, you could still do it as a favor. I'm asking you to help us out. But also, some people don't know this. If you can get a Kindle app on almost any device, so you don't have like an iPad or anything else. So you don't have to have Kindle to do that. So if folks would do that, we would really appreciate you investing that. So let me go through and tell you how the book's laid out. I'll go through this pretty quickly. I put it into 3 parts. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. How about that? The first part is the fundamentals of agency marketing, which is what you would think. You would start the book with the basic and the fundamentals. So that's that. Then we get into building visibility and trust. Those are words that I think we use a lot in marketing, visibility and trust, that don't get thought about too deeply, but they're critical. If your agency is not visible, who's going to buy from you? And if people don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So those are 2 critical pieces. We go into that pretty deep in Part 2. And then in Part 3, more advanced strategies, including paid growth and other things, paid ads. So let's go through Part 1, fundamentals of agency marketing. Chapter 1 is a pretty cool chapter, I think, on its own, because it talks about everything that we're going to talk about in the book. It lays out everything that you could probably do to market your agency, every tactic. It covers websites and social media and SEO. Everything is touched on at a high level in Chapter 1. Chapter 2 tells you to start with the fundamentals. I'm not going to tell you what the fundamentals are today. I'd love for you to get the book because it's not what you think, or it's not what I would think. Chapter 1 is kind of like your fundamental, the things you can do for marketing. Chapter 2 tells you where to start, and it's where most people don't start, and it's where most people start off, and you're going down the wrong path, and I don't want you to go down the wrong path. And then we go into how to set up your website and understanding how search engines work, and thus go from chapter 4 to chapter 5, how to do and what is search engine optimization, SEO. Then we go into part 2. I get really excited. Everybody here at Genesis knows I get excited about this. A couple of you on the call that are doing this with us is reputation management. Reputation management means several things, but one of the simplest ways to talk about reputation management is having Google reviews. You need a lot of Google reviews, and they need to be favorable, they need to be frequent, and they need to be recent. And your entire Google business profile needs to be built out and optimized. We've got an entire program that we've been doing for almost a year, and it's been one of the most exciting things we've done to help our clients build this out, get the reviews, because it has worked 100% of the time. There's not many things that we've done over the last 28 years that I can say that it's worked 100% of the time. So reputation management is all about that, and that's in this part. Then it goes on to website conversion fundamentals, meaning we want to build traffic to your website, but then what happens after they get the website? Are they taking the next step, which for most of you it's clicking a button probably, or to say give me a quote, or it's calling you and saying give me a quote. Mobile optimization, critical today. We see still, it's surprising to me, but we still see so many websites that are not, Misty told me to use props, that's still not optimized for mobile. So make sure that whatever your website, whatever you've got going, you make a change to your website, look at it on your phone, make sure it's working well there. People have high expectations for these things to be working well. Social media marketing, I'm going to refrain from talking about these much, but I'd love to. Video marketing, I will tell you, as it pertains to this book, video marketing, even though I don't have it in the section part 3 for advanced strategies, it really is an advanced strategy. There's other things, I said before, we give you the roadmap for where to go. Video marketing is a pretty advanced strategy. It can be amazing when done well, and it can be easy when done right. But I would consider it an advanced strategy, YouTube and things like that. And then email marketing needs to be happening now. Your agency management system, you need to be doing some form of email marketing right now. Even if it's not sophisticated automations and sequences, it needs to at least be in your agency management system where you're emailing people happy birthday and your policy's about to renew and thanks for buying insurance from us and all these things. That needs to be happening very easily and seamlessly inside your AMS anyway. But then it can go far beyond that, and this book talks about how you take it, scale it, and move it out. Then we talk a little bit about PPC, pay-per-click advertising, which is essentially Facebook advertising, Google advertising. And then finally, in part 3, advanced strategies and paid growth, we start talking about pay-per-click in the previous chapter, in chapter 12. Talk more about that in chapter 13, as well as paid directories. Paid directories, like there's 100 of them or so. There's a lot. Yelp and Yellow Pages still has directories and all that. That's an important thing, and that's somewhat easy to check off. And then here's where we go into tracking, measuring, and improving, because it's one thing to start spending money on something, but it's another thing to frequently and quickly enough analyze it. Is it working? And if it's not working, do we need to stop it, or do we need to make a change to it, make an improvement to it? So we talked all about that in this book. And then here in chapter 16, we kind of take a deep breath after 15 chapters, and we say, now what? What's next? And then about me down there. Also, in the book, this was fun, toward the end, we've got really essentially 4 bonus sections. The first one is a referral multiplier. So it's a section in the book that helps you, and there's a checklist with it that helps you get more referrals. And I have believed my entire career that referrals is the number one way to get customers. The closing ratio is better on referrals than other sources of lead, and the retention's better on a referral. So we spend a good bit of time there as a bonus. Also as a bonus, we've got the retention multiplier, because your retention has everything in the world to do with you growing. If you're at as small of a difference as at 80% retention in your agency versus 90 or in the low 90s, it's going to be so hard to grow, and you're going to max out normally after 5 to 10 years.
This is Brian Cameron. I spoke to
If
you
your
earlier
retention's not spot
regarding
on
the-
and you're not
Yes.
increasing the amount of business
That
you're writing each
basically,
year.
it was that was a
Get somebody-
rate increase across the board for everybody.
There we go. And then the other bonus section,
There's a couple of things you
I
could do.
talk about. Oh man, I hear somebody talking and I can't quickly see how to mute who that is and how to mute them. We go
Okay,
into
have you
the
taken
communities
defensive driving
that are
course?
available to you as an insurance agent,
Okay, that's one lead
and
thing you can do.
frameworks, and what
You'll take
frameworks is talking about
off,
there.
10% off the whole bill.
There we go. I think I got it. Frameworks, communities, you know what I'm talking about there. We're talking about organizations and other communities that you can be involved in and probably should be involved in as an agency. But frameworks are talking about other things, and there's 2 or 3 in there, but one of them is like EOS. If you're not familiar with EOS, it's a way to structure your business, of any kind of business. And so it talks about how to use these frameworks to improve your business. And then other tools to help your agency grow. And then finally, call it bonus 4 or appendix A. I don't know why we have an appendix A if there's not an appendix B. Probably should have just been a bonus 4. But marketing checklist for your agency. So that's really cool to make a copy of that. And then just literally, people love to check things off. Check off what you've implemented and then plan for what you've not implemented. Let's do a little trivia. That's the book, by the way. That's everything. I want to tell you a couple other quick things that's interesting in just a minute about the book. And then we're going to give some stuff away and do some bonus things here in just a minute. But let's do trivia first. So get ready on your chat, on your meeting chat, on your Zoom chat. And we've got Misty has already drawn a line, so we know where we're starting there. And here's the first question. The first person to get this right, or to get close to being right, we're going to send you a copy. Right, Misty? We're going to send them a copy of The Perfect Insurance Agency, right? So Misty's going to coordinate getting your address and everything for that. But this book is still on Amazon. Like I said, it was a bestseller in 2018. It's not marketing only. It's the whole thing about how to run an agency. And I think it's $30 on Amazon. But we're going to give it to somebody. Whoever gets the closest to the right answer here. The question is, what percentage of consumers today read reviews before choosing a business to buy from? So what percentage of your customers do you think are reading reviews before they make a decision to buy? We need the music. Ding, 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 ding. So we've got some pretty high percentages. We've got 60s, 70s, 80s, 93 there. Tim Cavanis, we got down as low as maybe 30. Anybody else want to guess? Now, in all fairness, Tim Cavanis is a Jenesis team member, so he could probably get a copy of the book on his own.
I just wanted to guess.
I know. You actually did pretty good, I think. So we're going to cut it off here, Misty.
Sure.
And let's pick, I'll give the answer right here. 95% of people are going to read reviews about your agency before they buy from you. So if you exclude Genesis team members, Misty, Who do we think won?
I think it was Laura Challenger.
All right. So, well, congratulations, Laura. And what was her guess?
She had 90.
90. Okay, good. I didn't even see that one. Okay, good. Yeah, that's close. Cool. Well, I think that's an important thing for people to know because that was not true 5 years ago. Certainly was not true 10 years ago. And back in my day when I started, it was just yellow pages anyway. There was no such thing as reviews. Didn't exist. There was no kind of review to be had. Let's do another one. Same thing. Whoever gets the closest to the right answer here, we're going to give you a copy of The Perfect Insurance Agency. What page is most visited on most insurance agency websites? Kim says home. Front page, about us, about, contact us. First page, home. All right, let's do a couple more answers. Throw your answer in there. Need to get a copy of a free book. Plus, you need to be a winner. Feels good to win stuff. About us. Misty, I'll let you decide when you're going to cut it off.
We've got a couple of right answers, so I'll cut it off. Kim, right away, right off the bat, she got it.
Okay. So the answer's homepage. Now I don't think it doesn't. Does it say it on this slide, Misty, that there is, or does it just say homepage? Like, yeah, it just says homepage.
Just homepage.
Because I think a close second, third, and of course it varies a little bit, but about us is correct, and contact us. Did anybody say contact us? Yeah, contact us. So those were good guesses because those are also follow-ups. So lesson learned here. On your home page, make sure your phone number is prevalent. Make sure that you're speaking to the right audience. Make sure, ideally, you've got pictures of you and your staff right there on the home page. And hopefully you don't have, in my personal opinion, your website doesn't come out on the front page with stock photos of some model family somewhere or some model insurance agency staff, but it's really you. I think people are far more likely to want to do business with you when they see who you are. All right, I think we've got two more, so let's do this one. This one says, how much more does getting a new customer cost rather than keeping one? So we've all heard for years, it's a lot cheaper to keep a customer than have to go out and spend the money to bring one in and go through the process of writing them and get them underwritten and all that jazz. But in terms of how much cheaper does it cost to keep a customer, we've got some 2 times, 4 times, 5 times, 9 times. Misty, I'll let it go for a second. You tell me when you'd like to cut it off.
Well, we've got a winner.
So the answer here is going to be, it says our answer says 5 to 7 times. So
Yeah, Jenna can't win though, so Rebecca gets to win.
That's okay. I'm just playing.
I know.
Yeah, Jenna doesn't care about the prize. She just wants to say she's a winner. Okay, good. Congratulations, Rebecca. That is interesting, and we've all known that for years, but it's important that we keep doing things. We need to do this here at Genesis too. We need to keep our customers. We don't like losing a customer. I'd rather keep one customer than to sign up 2 new ones. If I had to pick between keeping this customer and getting 2, I'd rather keep the one than to get 2. All right, this is the last one. How many Google reviews does an agency need to start building trust and increasing business? So what's the number, again, this is not an exact science, but what's about the number that seems to give an agency momentum? I kind of like Kim's answer, 1. I don't think that's going to be the right answer, but I think one thing I like when I saw 1, I thought, heck yeah, start with 1. I mean, that's where if you don't have any now, start with 1, and that's a whole lot better than you had before. And what we're looking for here is what's the number that seems to be the number that kind of tilts and moves the needle in to really having an impact on people calling you and finding you. Cutting it off, Misty?
I think so.
Okay. So the
And
answer
it'll be
here is 40. Our answer is
Yep.
40. Now, of course, if you've got 40, you want 50. If you've got 50, you want 100. If you've got 100, you want 200. Because the other thing about it is with reviews specifically, recency is a big deal too, because to have 100 reviews from 3 years ago doesn't mean a lot. But to have a whole bunch of reviews recently is really important. Okay. Good job on the trivia. Misty will be sending you guys out those books. I will mention / beg one more time. Please go to Amazon. I think Misty's going to post the link again. See how good she is? Like you just say, Misty's going to post the link, and there goes the link right in the notes. She's amazing. If you would buy the Kindle, the 99-cent Kindle version, to help us out with our rankings. And I think, like I said earlier, we'd already made it to Amazon #1 bestseller today on auto insurance category in Amazon. We're hoping to get higher in the other categories. You're welcome to buy the paperback, but we made that cheap just to make it easy. A couple other quick things I want to mention before we wind down and give some stuff away. I wanted to mention, and I don't even know if I like the title of this, high-level overview, what you will learn. These are just some things I wanted to tell you guys. It's a big deal to me that this book allow you a starting place. It's a big deal to me that you're able to take the book. By the way, there's Misty. See, I'm using my props. There's the book. It's a big deal that you're able to take this book, sit down, start reading it, and it's got a place to start, and you know what you're going to do, and that you're able to create your marketing plan from what you're learning in this book. It's a big deal to me that it goes into things like how much should you spend on marketing. I'm going to do trivia. Misty, I'm going to give another book away, okay? This is not on the slide. Put in the notes how much you think, and team members, if you know this, don't give this away because I don't want people to be influenced. Put in notes how much you think Genesis spends on marketing annually. What is our 2026 marketing budget? This is fun. I'm so enjoying these answers. Misty, I'll let you be the one, Chardonnay, I'll be the one to figure out who the winner is, though. I'll give you the numbers that you might not know, and then no idea, LOL. Be honest, Rebecca, I like it. Okay. You're in charge, Misty, of figuring out who the winner is, because some people did percentages, which is fair, and some people did dollars. Our budget this year, Jenna, do you remember what our budget is? Or Chardonnay, do you remember what our budget is this year?
Sure.
Can we say the
Chardonnay.
number per month? That's what I have in my around a ballpark per month.
Times 12 then, because I'd asked.
All right, so 250,000.
Okay, so our budget this year is $250,000 at Genesis. So percentage-wise, oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. That's 6 or 7%. So you've got some guesses now. So like the 50% guess, no, we don't spend nearly 50% or 25%. By the way, what we see, and this book talks about it, that's kind of why I got off on that tangent. This book talks about most agencies are spending 5 to 10% of their annual revenue on marketing. And that's about, when I look back in what I did when I was right out of college and started my first agency 30-something years ago, I was spending probably 10%. The smaller an agency is, the more they need to spend percentage-wise because they're trying to get somewhere and they're not there yet. When an agency, if an agency is a $1, $2, $3, or $4 million agency in revenue, not premium, then they can spend a little less because that's already a lot of money. So congratulations. Do you know who won yet, Misty, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so congratulations to whoever won that. That was a fun exercise. So the other thing that this book talks about is this idea of layering marketing tactics. And I think this is a big deal, layering and testing. So let's say you're doing nothing and for marketing. Then the book tells you what you should do first. And I call that my first layer. And then the book's going to teach you that you need to monitor the results from that first layer and over a period of time tweak if needed or eliminate. You know, your testing part of that is if that doesn't work, you eliminate it. The foundational stuff usually will work. But you do it, you add the first thing, and you budget for that, and you're paying for that. Then you layer on the next thing on top of that. So this is running down here smooth. You got it figured out. You layer the next thing. And that's a little bumpy for a while. You test it, tweak it, monitor it, and then you get that solid. And then you layer it, and then you layer it. And anything that didn't work, you remove, and you either fix or remove. Sometimes you can fix it, and sometimes you can't. It was a good test, and it's just not going to work for you. So that's a big deal to me, is this idea of layering and testing. And then, of course, the book talks about AI. Does anybody know what AI is? Anybody heard of AI? Just kidding. So the book goes into AI. Probably every chapter touches on AI and how it applies to that topic. The other thing I wanted to mention is every single chapter has stories and examples, because I think stories are fun. And I use some real examples, and I think a couple of the real agency stories, I didn't change their names because I didn't have to, and a couple I did, and especially if it was kind of talking about what a bad job somebody did. I didn't put any real names there. I kind of use fake names, but the stories, I think, make it fun and keep you engaged. So we did that. Every chapter ends with key points, which is essentially like a checklist. You know, you're done, you've read it, you understand the why behind things, and now you can check off the things that you maybe have already implemented, you're good on, or the things that you need to prioritize and put in place. And then also every chapter ends with a transition to the next chapter. It's called an up next section, but that way it ties this chapter into this chapter. So that was a big deal to us to kind of lay that out so the book flowed well with you. All right. This is the last reminder. Misty will put it in chat one more time. Let's see how quick she does that. See if she's ready for that.
No, it's going to be slower this time.
Oh, she wasn't ready. This is the last time to ask if you haven't done the 99-cent Kindle. Please do that. Misty, have you had a chance to look to see if it looks like people have been buying the Kindle version?
I've watched a couple roll in. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys for doing that very much. Very appreciated. And this is today only, so technically you have the rest of the day for you or any your team members in your agency if they want to get it, because after today it'll go to $9.99 for Kindle version, and the hard copy will stay what it is now, which is $19.99. Here's a bonus that we're going to do, bonus and promo. If anyone chooses to buy the paperback copy on Amazon today, and if you'll send me, I'll give you my email address. Oh, it's at the very bottom here, Eddie@genesissoftware.com. If you buy the paperback copy on Amazon today, send me an email with a little screenshot of your purchase. I've already had several people on Facebook and email this morning, not for this reason, but my friends and a lot of customers have been sending me where they bought it, sending me images. If you'll do that, then I'll send you a copy of this book for free. We'll mail that to you. So if you get this book, The Independent Insurance Agent's Guide to Branding and Growth, if you get that on paperback today, send me at this email address an image of where you purchased it, and give me your mailing address, please, where you'd like the book sent. We will mail you a copy of this book. I believe that's it. I want to thank you all for being here, for taking the time to share this with us. I hope that, I was telling someone this morning out of this meeting, not even insurance business. I said, sometimes people, when I wrote the first book, they say, "Oh, you wrote a book. That's cool. That's interesting. That's different," and that's flattering. But then people, and I think Christy even had somebody in the last few weeks that signed up at Genesis because they read the book, and they said the book has changed their life. Or I'm paraphrasing that a little bit, but the book had an impact on how they're running their business, and that's the greatest thing, is when you've done something that truly helps somebody else. So if you get this book, please share with me. Send me an email. Again, here's my email address. Share with me what you like, what's helped, what's new information, what's useful, what I've reminded you of that you'd stop doing that you should start back doing. I'd love to hear from you. I like having those conversations. So Misty or any of the Genesis team, is there anything that I've missed? I had no trouble talking for 45 minutes, did I? That's so unusual. Okay. Lisa, you think we're good? Think we're good? Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you so much, and I hope this is useful for you. Take care.